Welcome to my channel, Bookish English. Do you feel like your English is not improving even when you study every day? You are not lazy. You just don't have the right habits. What if I tell you the secret is not to study harder, but smarter? Comment below. What's one English habit you wish you had? I'll read everyone. Let's begin this journey together, one smart habit at a time. Chapter 1. The morning habit that changes everything. Into these silent mornings when I was studying English came the floodwaters of women's voices. I would wake up, reach for my phone, scroll for a bit, and be off to start my day. No English. No learning, just noise. One day I saw a video about how what you do in the first 10 minutes of your day determines the tone. I stopped. I thought about it. Was I feeding my brain anything of value? The next day, I made a change. I didn't open Instagram. I didn't scroll. I donned my earphones and played a short English podcast. Only 5 minutes. It was a beginner-level, straightforward story. The speaker spoke slowly. I could understand. At first, it felt strange, but something changed. I heard English as I brushed my teeth. As I splashed my face with water, a single sentence played in my mind. Today is a good day. I smiled. It felt nice. I felt as though I began the workday with intention. From that day on, I made it my personal rule. No phone scrolling in the morning. An all-English set. A mere 5 minutes. I have one story from that podcast. It was a story of a boy who was learning English in a village. He didn't have a teacher. He didn't have the internet. Just a small radio. He would wake up early, turn on the radio, and listen to the English news. He hardly understood any of it at first, but every day he picked up one new word. At 6 months, he was able to understand complete sentences. That story got me to thinking, if he could do it, why not me? So I continued. Day after day, 5 minutes became 10. A paragraph turned into a single sentence. I could hear traffic reports, leisurely stories, even morning affirmations in English. I didn't care what every word I couldn't known meant. I only wanted to hear the rhythm with which the language was written. It felt as if my brain were gradually tuning in to a new frequency. A week went by, and I observed something. In class, if my teacher looked at me to ask a question, I didn't freeze. I recalled a sentence from the podcast. I said it. My teacher smiled. That little moment was everything. I felt brave. I thought to myself, I could actually do this. Morning listening, I'll tell you why it works. Your brain is fresh. You are not tired. You do not have 100 things on your mind. If you feed your brain English in those first minutes, it's a great listener. It remembers better. It's like sowing seed when the ground is soft. The seed grows fast. And I don't have time in the morning. I understand. But do you have 2 minutes? While brushing your teeth? While making tea? You don't have to sit with a notebook. Just listen. Just make English the first sound of your day. You don't have to know anything. You don't understand anything. Just fine. Your brain is still learning. You can begin with the small stuff. Find English Listening Beginner Morning on YouTube, or you can use the videos offered on this channel. Choose one. Save it, make it your daily friend, and play it every morning. Don't panic if you lapse for a day. Just return the next day. Keep the habit alive. I recall one morning where I was being more down than usual. I had failed a test. I didn't want to do anything, but I continued to play my morning English. Mistakes are not the end, the speaker said. They are the beginning. I repeated that line to myself all day. It gave me strength. Such is the power of a smart morning habit. It's not just your English that gets better. It improves your day. It gives you a voice, a rhythm, the sense that you're becoming. Slowly, silently, but surely. If you're reading this, I want you to attempt this tomorrow. Just one small change. Wake up. Play 5 minutes of English. Say one sentence out loud. Today is a good day. And repeat it. That's it. That's your start. The following is one little habit to get the ball rolling. Make it conditional to warm up the habit. You don't need a school. Perfect grammar is not necessary. All you require is a fresh morning sound. Let English be that sound. And if you try this tomorrow, let me know in the comments. I did my English morning. I will reply. I want to hear your story. There's more to come on this odyssey, though, you see, because this trip is not just mine. It's yours, too. Chapter 2. The One-Sentence Journal Habit. I used to believe writing in English was the most challenging aspect. I could listen, I could repeat. But writing, that felt big. That felt scary. I didn't know where to start, what to write. I feared that my grammar would be incorrect. I was scared I wouldn't know how to spell things. So, I did nothing. I just looked at the page. It stayed empty. And then one day, my teacher handed me a tiny notebook. Write one sentence each night, she said. Only one. It can be short, it can be simple, but write something. I looked at the notebook. I smiled, but I was nervous. Still, I took it home. That evening, I cracked open the book. I picked up my pen. My hands were shaking. My mind was blank. So I typed my first sentence out. It was a good day today. That's it. 5 words. I closed the book. I felt silly. This doesn't help me learn. But the next night, I did the same. I ate rice. The next night, I looked. I saw a cat. These were small sentences, childlike, except that I wrote them with my heart. I was honest. I didn't care about mistakes. I just wanted to show that the habit didn't have to die. A week later, I turned back to the pages. I saw 7 little sentences. They were small, but not to me. They were big. They were my words, my thoughts, in English. And I felt, for the first time, like I was going to be a writer. And then something beautiful happened. I started adding more. I'm happy today because I went to the park. I wasn't trying to be perfect. I was just writing what I'm feeling. I was using the words I knew, and I was acquiring new ones on the way. My teacher read one of my pages. She beamed and said, "You're getting better." That was my one sentence of confidence from her. I didn't stop. I kept going, even when I was tired. Even when I had nothing particularly interesting to say. I still wrote one sentence. This is the habit I'd like you to attempt. Get a small notebook or use your phone. But write one sentence in English every day. Do it at night, before sleeping. Think about your day. Pick one moment. Write it down. Don't worry about grammar. Don't worry about spelling. Just write. I am tired. I talked to my friend. I ate chicken. I watched a video. These are real sentences, real moments. When you write them, you are learning. Writing must be long and perfect, some people believe. That's not true. Writing is practice, like walking. You start slow, then you go far, and at some point you'll look back and say, I wrote every day. I didn't stop. That will be your strength. You can paint stuff on it. You can draw on your notebook. Add little drawings. Add the date. Make it fun. Make it yours. You can also read your sentence aloud once you've written it. That way, you'll also practice speaking aloud. And on days that you miss, don't feel guilty. Just write the next day. Perfection does not exist in this habit. It's about showing up. It's all about bridging your thoughts and English. I have a line I wrote down. I cried today, but I'm okay. That sentence stayed with me. It was a reminder for me that language is not just for grammar. It's for talking about how we feel. And when you write from passion, you learn more quickly. 3 months later, I had a book full of my life in English. Small sentences, big emotions, my story, written in simple words. I passed that notebook along to my younger cousin. He read it and replied, "This English you are writing?" I nodded. He smiled and answered, "It's beautiful." That was the proudest moment of my life. I want you to feel that now. Tonight, write your opening sentence. Don't wait. Don't plan. Just say what you feel. Keep it simple. Keep it real. And if you succeed, post your sentence in the comments too. Let's make a journal wall together. I'll read everyone. This is your habit now. One sentence, one step, every day. You're not only learning English, you are the author of your life story, one word at a time. Chapter 3. Talk to yourself. The secret speaking habit. I remember the first time I ever talked in English. I was alone. I was in my room. I stared into the mirror and said, "Hello." My voice was soft. My heart was beating fast. I felt silly. I laughed at myself. But deep down, I was proud. Because I finally spoke, out loud, in English. Until that day, I was scared. I listened to English videos. I read simple books. I even wrote in my journal. But speaking? I was silent. Who am I going to speak with? I do not have friends who talk English. My family doesn't know English. I have no one. But then I saw a video. One girl said, "If you don't have someone to talk to yourself." That sentence hit me. It seemed odd, but also shrewd. I decided to try. The next morning when I woke up, I told myself, I am brushing my teeth in English. I didn't say it perfectly, but I said it. And I said, I am eating bread. Then, I am going to school. And one at a time, I began to label each of my actions. My English practice was my daily routine. No one knew, no one heard, but I was teaching my brain to talk. My voice became stronger. My words became faster. My fear became smaller. Whenever I faced the mirror, I'd chat. "How are you today?" I would answer, "I am fine." Then I added more. "Today I feel happy. Today I feel tired." I spoke about real feelings. I used simple sentences. I didn't care about mistakes. I converted my room into a classroom. I turned my voice into my teacher. Some scoff at this notion. To them, talking to yourself is lunatic. But I know it works. It worked for me. It serves the needs of lots of learners around the world. You can speak to yourself, and no one can condemn you. No one corrects you. You are free. Free to try. Free to fail. Free to learn. And the best part? Your mind begins to work in English. Let me share with you a little story. A child could not speak English in front of his teacher. He always stayed quiet. Soon, he was talking to himself at home, every day, morning and night. One afternoon, the teacher asked a question. The boy answered, slowly, but clearly. Everyone clapped. He smiled. He couldn't believe it. That boy was me. Quit it now. If you're watching this, I challenge you to do this habit. Right now. Look around you. Say what you see. This is my phone. That is my chair. I am watching a video. These are simple sentences, but they are powerful. They are your practice. You can also make yourself a little story. Today, I went to the market. I bought some apples. The weather was hot. I saw a dog. That's it. Real life. Simple English. Your voice. There are days in which I feel shy even in front of myself, in my own room. I whisper. That's okay. You don't need to be loud. You just need to be brave. And each time you speak, you're growing confidence. If you do this day after day for week after week, something incredible will happen. You will no longer translate in your head. You will begin to think in English. You'll talk like how you talk in your own language. And one day, someone will ask you something in English. You will not freeze. You will answer. Not perfectly, but clearly. And that's when you'll know whispering to yourself was not crazy. It was smart. So here's your task. Once this video is over, find a mirror, look into your own eyes, and say one sentence in English. Any sentence. I can learn English. I am strong. I will not give up. These are not just words. These are your new beginning. And if you already do this, please let me know in the comments. What's your favorite sentence in English to say to yourself? I want to know. I want to cheer for you. It's normal to talk to yourself. It is brave. It is smart. And it's also one of the best daily habits to help you improve your English. Start today. Start now. Your voice is your power. Chapter 4. The 5-minute reading habit. I also thought that reading English was only for smart people, those who already knew lots of words, people who didn't need a dictionary within arm's reach. I was like, I can't read. I actually wanted to be reading, but I didn't even know what to pick up. Long pages scared me. I never knew a big word thrown at me that didn't shut up my bore. One day a friend handed me a little children's book. It had pictures. It contained just 2 lines per page. I laughed and said, "This is like a kid." But she said, "Try it. Just 5 minutes." I did. And that 5 minutes changed the world. The first sentence was, "The cat on the bed is." I knew those words. I smiled. The next page, "The dog is under the table." I kept reading. I could follow the pictures. I didn't need to translate. I just followed the story. After reading something in English for the first time that felt good, I felt like I could do it. I began a new habit that day. I read 1 short page of it every night before I go to sleep. Just one. No pressure, no grammar book, just a story, a simple one. And slowly, something magical began to happen. I began to understand more. I began to enjoy reading. The characters were my friends. The stories were my teacher. Now I read to not know, to feel something. There was one story about a boy who didn't speak English, just like me. He found a book in the trash. He read it every night. Just a few lines. Months later, he was in a position to tell his own tale. That boy was me. I wanted to be like him. Reading became my escape. When I was sad, I read. When I was tired, I read. When I was happy, I read. 5 minutes turned into 10. 10 turned into 20. I didn't plan it. It just happened. I loved learning something new. A lot of people will say, reading is boring, but I think they are reading the wrong things. Don't start with big books. Start with easy ones, short ones, funny ones, books made for beginners. Like the ones I read, like the ones we post here on this channel, and you don't have to have a book at all. You can read subtitles. Instagram captions are legible. You all can read English. Reading is everywhere. It is not just in libraries. It's in your phone. It's in your world. I want you to try this habit. Tonight, read in English for 5 minutes. That's all. Choose something easy. A small story, a short article, even a children's book. Don't check everything you learn. Just keep going. Let the sense of the meaning come to you gradually. You don't need to know it all. That doesn't mean you need to walk away with every word memorized. You just have to read. Every day, 5 minutes. That's the habit. And if you want it to be more fun, read out loud. That way, you're learning to read and to say the word at the same time. You will hear your voice. You will hear English. And slowly, slowly, you'll begin thinking in English. Occasionally, I still read those same little books. They remind me of how much I've learned. I smile when I read them now, because what used to be difficult now comes easily. And that is learning's greatest feeling of power. Reading put me in love with English, and it all began with 5 minutes a day. You can do the same, so try it tonight before you go to bed. Just 5 minutes, just 1 page, and tomorrow, do it again. You will be astonished at how much you grow in just that 1 week. And if you already have a favorite book, let us know about it in the comments. Let's share a list of easy and beautiful English books. For the record, reading isn't a test. It is not a race. It is a gift, a story, a light. Let it be your light. 1 page at a time. Chapter 5. Shadowing. Copy, speak, grow. I will never forget the first time I shadowed. I didn't have a name for it then. It's me copying the typist from an English video. I listened to a sentence, stopped the video, and repeated it. Then I played the next line. I copied that too. I didn't even get it all, but I was speaking. I was moving my mouth. I was learning. At first, it felt strange. I was like, am I just parroting myself? But after a few days, I saw a pattern. I was improving with my pronunciation. Now my sentences were throwing up and coming faster. I didn't have to think as much. I was speaking like the guy from the video. I learned without learning grammar. This is also known as shadowing. You have a sentence in English, then you copy it right away. Like a shadow tracks your form, your voice tracks speaker's voice. That is why we refer to it as shadowing. Let me tell you a story. There was a boy in my English group who was unable to use any speech, not even simple sentences. He felt shy. He told us, "I have words, but my mouth doesn't move." One day, I demonstrated for him how to shadow a cartoon figure. We selected a slow video with short phrases. After every line, he stopped and repeated it word for word, every day for 10 minutes. 1 week later, something miraculous occurred. He joined our video call, and for the first time, he uttered a full sentence. "I like this topic," he said. His voice sounded slow, but his sentence had been pellucid. We clapped. He smiled. And he said, "I just copied and copied. Now I can speak." That is the power of shadowing. You don't have to invent your own sentences. You needn't agonize over grammar. It's just a matter of listening and copying. Your brain remembers the patterns over time. Your tongue knows the words. But little by little, you begin to talk on your own. Here's how you can begin shadowing today. First off, track down a 2 or 3 minute clip in English. It can be a cartoon or a beginner podcast or one of our videos here. Ensure the speaker speaks slowly and distinctly. Subtitles help too. Then, play one sentence. Pause the video. Say the sentence out loud. Try to copy the rhythm, the emotion, even the pause. Don't just say the words. Sound them the way the speaker does. If it's difficult, that's fine. It's like singing a new song. You're not going to get it right the first time. But the more you practice it, the easier it is. You know, at the beginning, I was in the shadows with cartoons. Then I moved to short movies. Then to YouTube videos. I can now shadow actual conversations. My voice is stronger. My accent is better. My confidence is higher. On other days, I shadow in the mirror. I watch my mouth move. I feel my voice change, and I feel proud. Others wonder, how long do I need to shadow? It's only 5 to 10 minutes a day you need. Pick one short video. Do it every day for a week. Then move to a new one. If you screw up, so what? That's normal. Keep copying. Keep going. You're not working toward perfection. You're training your mouth. You're building a habit. A smart, powerful habit. I still remember one sentence that I shadowed every day for a week. "I'm learning English and I'm proud." I said it so often that it now sounds like my voice. And that's what happens. Shadowing is turning someone else's English into your English. Try it today. Find a video. Choose one sentence. Copy it. Say it loud. Say it again. Try it for 7 days, and I guarantee you will feel a difference. And if you already shadow, mention that in the comments. What did you lift today? Let's read and write a wall of words together. You don't need to study more. You need to speak more. And shadowing is the lowest hanging fruit. No fear. No grammar books. Just copy, speak, and grow. Chapter 6, The Vocabulary Jar Habit. So one day I went to my cousin's place. She was learning English too. On her desk, I noticed a glass jar full of colored slips of paper. I asked, "What's this?" She smiled, and before leaving, she said, "It's my vocabulary jar." That was new to me. She grabbed a piece of paper and read out loud, "Delicious," as in tasty. Now I add one word to this jar every day, just one. I write the word, the definition, and a little sentence. I was amazed. It was so simple, so fun, and so powerful. Home I went, and there was the empty jar. So I cut up some small bits of paper. The first word I wrote that night was happy. On the one side, happy, feeling good. On the other, I had written, I am happy today. I folded the paper and put it in the jar. I felt as if I had sowed a seed. The next day I added book, then cold, then friend. Every day, just one new word, one small paper, one moment of learning. My jar began to fill up, and my heart started fluttering with anticipation. I didn't just write the words, I lived them. Each time I was happy, I thought of my word. When I would meet a friend, I uttered the phrase to describe that person out loud. This is my friend. Gradually, these tiny words started to infiltrate my thinking, my speaking. 1 month in, and my jar contained 30 words. I opened the papers and reread them. I said them out loud. I made new sentences. I was surprised. I remembered most of them. Why? Because I didn't simply read them. I touched them, wrote on them, folded them. I had a memory for each word. That's the power of the vocabulary jar. It makes learning personal. Sometimes we make ourselves learn 10 words a day, but we forget them fast. Our brain gets tired. But when you learn 1 word a day with feeling, with action, it sticks. It becomes part of you. Let me tell you a story. I became friends with It's Only a Girl. She felt stuck. She said, I study so many words, but I forget them. I explained to her about the vocabulary jar. She tried it. 1 word a day. She wrote it, drew a picture, said it aloud. She sent me a picture 60 days later. Her jar was full. Now, I use these words when I talk, she said. It made me so happy. You can build your own jar today. You don't need any fancy gear. Just a box, a cup, a tin. Cut some paper. Use color if you want. Each day write 1 word you didn't before. If necessary, express its meaning in your own language. Write a brief English sentence. Write a short English sentence, and drop it in. At the end of each week, remove the lid from your jar. Read your words. Say them again. Celebrate them. You are not just learning words. You are cultivating your language garden, word by word. You can also use pictures. Draw a cat. Write the word cat and a sentence such as, "The cat is black." It helps you remember. If you're a sticker fan, include a smiley face. Make your jar your friend. There were days I didn't want to write, but then I glanced at the jar and reconsidered. Just one word. That's all. And I did it. I kept going. Now I don't even need the jar. The words are in my mind, but I leave it on my desk still. Man, it takes me back to how I started, with one word, one step, every day. And you can start too. After watching this video, write down one word. Just one. Make your first paper. Start your jar. Tell us your word in the comments. Let's be a community of lifelong learners. The jar of vocabulary is more than a level. It's a symbol, a promise to yourself, a way to see your progress, a way to say, I am learning, I am growing. So go ahead. Start small. One word, one paper, one jar, and one day you will open it and see much more than vocabulary. You will see your own journey in English. Chapter 7. Night Review. 3 questions that train your brain. I used to scroll through my phone every night before falling asleep. Videos, messages, noise. Then one day I came across a line. Before you sleep, your brain decides what to keep and what to forget. That line stayed with me. I thought to myself, what if I help my brain hold on to the English I learned today? So I took up a little nightly habit. It was simple. Just 3 questions. I asked them in my mind, or sometimes I whispered them aloud. So first question, what word did I learn in English today? Question 2, for what line did I use today? Third question, what was my error and what was my lesson? At first it felt strange, but it took only 2 minutes. I lay in bed in the dark, closed my eyes and thought, today I learned the word apple. I said, I ate an apple. I said, he go to school also, but now I know it's he goes to school. And then I smiled, but I knew something now. I felt so much better the next morning when I woke because I remembered everything, the word, the sentence, even the correction. Why? Because I saw it in my mind's eye in silence, in peace, late at night, when all is still. Let me tell you a story. One young man I recently met online told me that he didn't have any time for study. He worked all day. He came home tired, but I gave him this habit. Only 3 questions. At night. He began going every day. After 2 weeks, he said, I think in English before I go to bed, and I remember more. He did not add more study time, just more smart review. This, I suppose, is what I would describe as brain-friendly learning. You don't need any books to get started with this habit. You don't need a teacher. Just your own voice, your own thoughts. This is a private moment. No pressure, no stress. You and your head only, helping you be polite to your learning. I also occasionally tack on one more bit at the end. I tell myself one positive thing. You did well today. You are learning. Don't give up. These words feel warm. They help me sleep better. They make me feel proud. You can do this every night. When you lie down, ask, what word did I learn today? What sentence did I say? What did I do wrong? And what did I learn? If you have to, say it in your language, but attempt to respond in plain English, even broken English. You are not in an exam. You are growing in silence. You will notice a change. Your memory will improve. The fear of forgetting will be reduced. Your English will be in your sleep, part of your dreams. One night I remember looking through the word rain. I said, I learned it's raining. That night I had a dream. In the dream, I was walking in the rain and speaking English. Just one sentence, but it felt like magic. I woke up smiling. That is the force of a quiet habit. Some argue that learning must be noisy, videos, apps, notebooks. But learning can be soft too, gentle, like a whisper before sleep. That whisper can linger longer than anything else. So tonight, when you shut off the lights and you go to sleep, ask yourself those 3 questions. Don't worry about being perfect. Just think. Just feel. Just speak to yourself slowly. And if you feel like it, tell us one thing you'd learned about. What did you learn today? I will read it. I will rejoice in your learning right along with you. Each sensible habit is a small light, and this one will illuminate your night at the theater. One review, one memory, a step closer to speaking English. Chapter 8. Weekend Talk, the Practice Day Habit. I used to study English all week. I watched videos, I wrote sentences, I learned new words. But when I had to say something to somebody, my brain turned to ice. My mind went blank. I had forgotten everything I knew. I was like, well, it's my whole study. It occurred to me, why can't I say a word? Then one day my teacher said something so obvious, so simple. You need a speaking day, 1 day a week, just to speak. I asked, but then who will I talk to? She said, anyone. A friend, a mirror, even your phone. I decided to give it a shot that weekend. It was Sunday. I made a rule for myself. I would talk in English for 1 hour. No writing, no reading, just talking. I started with easy things. I looked around my room and went, this is my bed. That is my book. I am wearing a blue shirt. I walked to the window. It is sunny today. I went to the kitchen. I am making tea. I spoke unceasingly, even when it was simple speech. At first, I felt awkward, like I was pretending. But then, I relaxed. I smiled. I started enjoying it. My brain was straining to translate everything in front of me into English. It became a game. And that hour passed quickly. The following weekend, I made another attempt. But this time, I phoned my cousin. I said, for the next 10 minutes, let's speak in English. We laughed. We made mistakes, but we spoke. And that felt like progress. That, in fact, is how the weekend talk habit began. 1 day, 1 hour, 1 focus, speak. It changed everything. Throughout the week, I would listen and read. But I leaned into what I knew anyway this weekend. My brain connected the dots. My voice became stronger. My fear became smaller. Let me tell you a story. One girl in my online group was afraid to talk. Each time she attempted, her hands trembled. Her voice broke. We told her, "Do weekend talk." So she did. She was, by all reports, every Sunday out in her garden talking to herself. I see a flower, I hear a bird, I like the sun. That's how she started. After a couple of weeks, she called in on our video chat. She said, "I practiced alone, but I want to talk to you today." We were all so proud. That's what this habit does. They don't have to learn to speak like an American or like a native speaker. You just need to speak, even for 5 minutes, even with mistakes. Make it your own. Some people use a mirror. Others talk into their phone and record themselves. Some talk to pets. Some of them get language partners online. Some head to English-speaking clubs. It's also not the case that you will be perfectly well if only you are a certain way. The important thing is that you do it. Choose your weekend. Saturday, Sunday. Whatever day feels right. Set a small goal. I will talk for 10 minutes. Then increase it. Make it a routine. Say your feelings. Talk about your week. Describe your room. Tell a story. Ask a question and answer it. Just keep your mouth moving. That's the goal. At first, it may feel hard. You may feel stuck. But don't stop. Let your brain hunt for words. Get your tongue to try out some new sounds. That's how you grow. A week of talking 1 hour is better than a week of silent study 10 of these hours. Speaking combines all the pieces: vocabulary, grammar, listening, thinking. It makes knowledge power. And today I want you to try it. Make your own English hour. Turn off your fear, turn on your voice, and speak. If you give it a shot, let me know in the comments. I gave my weekend talk. Tell me about your conversation. Tell me how it felt. This habit is a gift. It's your time, your space, your voice. Don't let it stay silent. Let it grow. One weekend at a time. Chapter 9. The Mistake Celebration Habit. The only thing I was afraid of when I began to speak English is mistakes. I didn't want to say the wrong word. I didn't want to sound silly. I didn't want the humor to be laughing. So I stayed quiet. I was waiting for the perfect sentence, but the perfect sentence never materialized. And I stayed silent. And one day, my friend said something that completely shifted my perspective. "If you never make mistakes, you never learn," she said. At first, I didn't trust her. But, she added, celebrate your mistakes. Smile when they happen. Because each one is a step. That made me think. The next day, in class, "He go to school. He's going to school." My teacher smiled softly and reassured me. I nodded. I repeated it. "He goes to school." Then I smiled too. It was a mistake. But I learned something, and I didn't feel bad. I felt stronger. From there, I began doing something different. After each mistake, I'd whispered to myself, "You're one of the good ones. You're learning." At times, I even clapped quietly, not to be funny, but to feel proud, because I was trying, and trying is brave. I fumbled quite a bit after that. I'd said gooder instead of better. I wrote, "I am agree" instead of "I agree." I said, "She can sings" instead of "She can sing." But I never stopped. I never allowed myself to feel down about these mistakes. Rather, I gave them to my teachers. Let me tell you a story. A boy in our group study was always silent. We asked him why. He told me, "I am afraid that people laugh at my English." I handed him a little notebook and told him it was his mistake journal. If you make a mistake, write it down each time. Then write the correct version in the next box. Read it with a smile. He didn't want to at first, but a week later he brought the notebook. It had 12 mistakes and 12 lessons. He read them out loud. He laughed at one or two. Then he added, "I'm not scared now. These are just steps." The weak boy now had a confident voice. You see, errors do not count as problems. They are signals. They show you what to fix, what to improve, what to learn next. They are gifts. To shelter yourself from errors is to shelter yourself from progress. But if you embrace them, it turns out you grow much more than you realize. Just as then, so now, with a new habit for you to take up, embracing mistakes. Smile when you make a mistake. Write it down. Repeat the correct version and say, "Thank you, mistake. You helped me." If you're with others, say it too, "Please correct me." Make it a game. Every mistake is 1 point for learning. If you're by yourself, carry around a little notebook or a note on your phone. Collect your mistakes. Review them at the end of each week. You will see your growth. I still make mistakes even to this day. I still learn. English is a big world. No one knows everything, and that's okay. So don't be afraid. Don't be silenced by fear. Speak if you're interested in learning. Mistakes will come. Let them come. Welcome them. Celebrate them. Because they are evidence that you're doing something brave. And if you made one today, tell us about it in the comments. I'll help you fix it, and we'll cheer for you. Keep in mind, the most accomplished English speakers are not those who make no mistakes. They are the ones who take something from every single one. Chapter 10. Habit Stacking. How to make these habits automatic. I used to believe learning English required hours of studying. Books, lessons, grammar rules, tests. But I was wrong. It was the little things that helped the most. Tiny actions, repeated daily, a 5-minute podcast, a one-line journal, a whispered sentence in the mirror, a single word in a jar. These minor habits made all the difference. But there was one more secret. Not only did I form new habits, I hooked them up to the old ones. It's known as habit stacking. It means you take something you already do and add a little English habit on top. I'll show you how. Every morning, I would brush my teeth, so I began to put on a brief English podcast while brushing. Every afternoon, I made tea. These were small scraps with 1 or 2 words on them, as I'd only scribbled down words that I actually needed to work on, and I'd figured out that you don't actually need an excessive amount of paper to save these words. More on that in another post. So I grabbed a vocab paper out of my jar and stared at "if" as the water boiled. So every night I would turn the lights off and go to bed. So I asked the 3 review questions in my mind. What is the word I learned? What sentence did I say? What mistake did I make? They were habits I had going into it. I didn't need more time. I only spent the time I already had, wisely. That's habit stacking, and it's intuitive to the point of being easy to learn. Let me tell you a story. A girl I met on this channel was too busy for English. She was going to school, caring for a household, going to a job. She felt tired. I cannot add anything new, she said. So we worked together. We looked at her day. She said, I cook every day. In English, I said, talk about your cooking. I walk every evening, she said. I told him, listen to English while you walk. And I journal before I go to bed, she added. I said, write a sentence in English. She didn't change her life. She only added English onto the life she already had. And a month later, she spoke more plainly. She remembered words longer. She felt confident. Such is the power of stacking small habits. Here's how you can do it. What you do every day until today. Stuff like brushing your teeth, eating lunch, walking, checking your phone, cleaning, winding down at the end of the day. Pick one small English habit. Activities. From this video, morning listening, write a sentence, shadow, vocabulary jar, weekend speaking, takeaways. Stack them. Say, once I do my daily habit, I will do my English habit. For example, listen to English for 3 minutes after I brush my teeth. I'll more or less shadow one English sentence after I drink some tea. I will write one sentence of journaling about my day after dinner. When I'm already in bed, I will ask myself the 3 questions in English. This is how habits form. They become automatic. No pressure, no struggle, just rhythm. After a while, you don't even notice it. You just do it. It becomes part of you, like breathing. And then 30 days in, you will look back and say, no, actually, I didn't change everything, but I threw in a little English, and now I am moving forward. That's how fluency is built, not in one big moment, but in hundreds of tiny ones, in little words, in quiet effort, in smart habits. So now, at all the chapters we've studied together, none of these are rules. They are tools. Use what fits you. Mix and match. Change and grow. But keep going. Keep moving. You can learn English. You don't need more hours. You need more heart and smart habits. And if you're one of the ones who made it to the end of this video, thank you. You are genuinely interested in learning, and I believe in you. Now I want you to do one thing. Comment below. I'm going to set up my smart English habits. Which one are you committing to starting with? I'll reply to everyone. And if you found this video helpful, just subscribe and share it with someone learning English too. Let's grow together. Let's support each other. This is just the beginning, and I'm proud of you. One step, one habit, one word at a time.